What if the reason money has never stayed in your hands has nothing to do with your education, your background, your family, or even your luck? What if the only thing standing between you and extraordinary wealth is a single shift inside your mind that most people will never make, not because they cannot make it, but because nobody ever sat them down and told them the truth about how wealth actually moves in this world? What if money is not something you chase desperately through exhausting hours and endless sacrifice? What if money is something that begins chasing you the moment you adopt one specific, powerful, almost dangerous mindset that the wealthiest human beings in history quietly carried inside their chest like a burning fire that never went out? What if I told you that this mindset was discovered, studied, and proven across hundreds of the most successful people who ever lived? People who started with nothing, people who failed repeatedly, people who were told they would never amount to anything, and yet every single one of them activated this same invisible mental force and watched their entire financial reality transform completely? Stay with me, because what you are about to hear will change the way you think about money forever. What if the greatest poverty you will ever experience in your life is not the poverty of your wallet, but the poverty of your thinking? What if every single time money slipped through your fingers, every single time an opportunity appeared and then disappeared before you could grab it, every single time you watched someone else build wealth while you worked twice as hard and earned half as much? What if all of that was not happening to you, but was actually being created by you, silently, invisibly, through the very quality of thoughts you allowed to live rent-free inside your mind every single day? This is the truth that the wealthy carry and the struggling never hear. And today, I am going to place this truth directly into your hands. There is a mindset, a specific, cultivated, deliberately chosen way of thinking that does not just allow you to earn money, but actually begins to make money move toward you like iron filings moving toward a powerful magnet. This is not fantasy. This is not motivation dressed up in pretty language. This is a principle that has been demonstrated by kings, industrialists, inventors, and ordinary men and women who made an extraordinary decision about how they would think and then watch the world reorganize itself around that decision. Let me begin with the most important truth you will hear today. Your mind is not a passenger in your financial life. Your mind is the engine. Every condition you currently experience financially, every number in your bank account, every opportunity that shows up or fails to show up, every relationship that either opens doors or keeps them permanently closed, every single one of these conditions began first as a thought pattern inside your mind. Not occasionally, not sometimes. Every single time. The man who thinks in terms of limitation will experience limitation. The woman who thinks in terms of abundance, who genuinely, deeply, emotionally believes that wealth is not only possible but inevitable for her, she creates an entirely different relationship with money. Money senses the difference. The universe responds to the difference. Your subconscious mind, which is connected to forces far greater than your conscious awareness, acts upon the difference. This is the first layer of the mindset that makes money chase you. The absolute, unshakable belief that you deserve wealth, that wealth is natural for you, that scarcity is a temporary condition, and abundance is your permanent destination. But belief alone is not enough. And this is where most people stop and wonder why nothing changes. Belief must be paired with something far more powerful. It must be paired with what I will call a burning desire, not a casual wish, not a vague hope, not a "it would be nice someday" feeling, but a deep, consuming, almost obsessive clarity about exactly what you want, exactly how much of it you want, exactly when you intend to have it, and exactly what you are prepared to give in return for it. You see, the universe does not respond to vague requests. Your subconscious mind cannot work with fuzzy instructions. When you tell yourself, "I want to be rich someday," your subconscious mind shrugs its shoulders because someday means nothing and rich means nothing and want is the weakest word in the English language. But when you say with precision, with emotion, with absolute certainty, I will have $100,000 in my possession by the 31st of December of this year, and in return, I will provide this specific value to this specific market in this specific way. Something shifts, something wakes up, an invisible force begins to move. Your conscious mind begins to notice opportunities it was walking past every day. Your conversations begin to attract the right people. Your decisions begin to align with your destination. Your energy begins to signal to the world around you that you are not a person who is searching. You are a person who is arriving. This is the magnetic quality of a definite chief aim held with burning desire. Think about the most financially successful people you have ever studied or observed in your own life. Every single one of them shared this quality. They knew exactly what they wanted, not approximately, exactly. They could tell you the number, they could tell you the timeline, they could tell you the plan, and they spoke about it with a certainty that made the people around them either inspired or deeply uncomfortable. Because certainty at that level is rare, and rare things disturb ordinary thinking. Now, I want to talk about the second layer of this mindset, and this one is the layer that most people resist the most deeply: faith. Not religious faith necessarily, though for many people those two things live in the same house. I am talking about an applied, practical, daily exercise faith in the reality of your vision before any physical evidence of it exists. This is where the psychological battle is won or lost. Because here is what happens to almost every person who begins to develop a wealthy mindset. They feel the burning desire, they establish the definite aim, they begin to believe, and then 3 days later, or 3 weeks later, or 3 months later, the bank account still looks the same. The circumstances have not visibly changed. The people around them are still skeptical. The bills are still arriving. And in that moment, the ordinary mind surrenders. It says, "I tried. It does not work. Back to reality." And in that single moment of surrender, everything that was being built invisibly collapses. Because wealth, like every great structure, is built first in the invisible realm before it ever appears in the physical realm. The skyscraper exists first as a vision, then as a blueprint, then as a foundation, then as a frame, then finally as the magnificent structure you see standing against the sky. Every stage before the final stage looks like nothing to the untrained eye. Every stage before the final stage requires faith from the builder. The wealthy mindset understands this. It holds the vision steady through every stage of invisibility. It treats the unseen future as though it is already present. It speaks about the coming wealth not with hope, but with the calm certainty of someone describing what they had for breakfast. This practiced, disciplined, emotionally charged application of faith upon a specific desire is what creates the mental frequency, and I use that word deliberately, upon which wealth travels. Now I must address something that people rarely discuss when they talk about wealth and mindset, and it is perhaps the most practically powerful principle available to any human being who genuinely desires to transform their financial life. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between real experience and vividly imagined experience. Read that again. Let it settle into you. Your subconscious mind, which controls the vast majority of your behavior, your decisions, your emotional responses, your instinctive choices, and your unconscious communication with the world around you, cannot tell the difference between something that actually happened and something you imagined with sufficient detail, sufficient emotion, and sufficient repetition. This means that every morning when you wake up and spend 15 minutes in vivid emotional mental rehearsal of your wealthy life, feeling the feelings, seeing the details, experiencing the reality of financial freedom in your imagination as though it is happening right now, you are literally training your subconscious mind to operate from a wealthy baseline. You are programming the most powerful computer that has ever existed to filter reality through the lens of abundance, to recognize opportunities, to generate ideas, to guide your behavior in directions aligned with your financial destination. The wealthy do this. They have always done this, though they describe it in different languages and different frameworks. They see the wealthy version of themselves so regularly and so vividly in their minds that when the physical world begins to match the mental picture, it feels natural. It feels expected. It feels like coming home. The struggling do the opposite. They rehearse their limitations. They replay their failures. They practice their poverty so diligently and so emotionally every single morning in the quiet of their worried minds that their subconscious has no choice but to produce more of the same experience, because that is the only instruction it has ever been given. Change the rehearsal. Change the reality. This practice, this daily disciplined auto-suggestion of wealth into the subconscious mind, is the engine room of the money-attracting mindset. Now let me give you the third great layer, because without this layer, the entire structure weakens. Specialized knowledge combined with the right alliance of minds. Here is a painful truth about intelligence and education. Raw intelligence does not create wealth. General education does not create wealth. The world is full of brilliantly intelligent, highly educated people who struggle financially their entire lives. And the reason is simple. They have general knowledge, but not specialized knowledge focused upon a definite purpose. The wealth-attracting mindset hungers for specialized knowledge. It asks not what is interesting, but what is necessary. What do I need to know to deliver extraordinary value in my chosen field? And where is that knowledge held? And how do I get it as quickly and as completely as possible? This specialized knowledge, applied to a burning desire, powered by faith, rehearsed daily through auto-suggestion, becomes an almost unstoppable wealth-generating force. But there is a multiplier that takes everything I have described and increases its power beyond what any single mind operating alone could achieve. Surround yourself with people who think bigger than you currently think. When two or more minds come together in a spirit of harmony around a definite purpose, something is created that is greater than the sum of its parts. Call it synergy. Call it collective intelligence. The language matters less than the principle, which is that your financial growth will almost perfectly mirror the quality of the minds you spend the most time with. If you spend your days surrounded by people who believe that wealth is for lucky people, for privileged people, for people born into the right families, that belief will seep into your own thinking through 1,000 invisible daily conversations, attitudes, and assumptions. But when you find even one other person, just one who thinks expansively, who plans boldly, who speaks about wealth as a natural outcome rather than a miracle, that relationship will do more for your financial trajectory than any single course, any single book, any single strategy. Guard your mental environment with the same fierceness you would guard your physical health, because the people you allow into your mind space are either building your wealth mindset or quietly dismantling it. And finally, the quality that separates everyone who has ever read about these principles from the rare few who actually live them. Persistence, not effort, not hard work alone, though effort and work are absolutely required. Persistence, the decision, made once and never revisited, that you will not stop. That failure is not a destination, but a detour. That every setback contains within it a seed of equivalent or greater benefit, if only you will look for it with clear enough eyes. The money-attracting mindset is not broken by failure. It is forged by it. Every obstacle that appears on the path to wealth is actually a test of the genuineness of your desire. The obstacles ask, how much do you actually want this? And your persistence is the answer you give. History belongs to the people who refuse to let go. The wealth in this world has always flowed toward those who decided, quietly, firmly, without drama or announcement, that they would simply never quit moving toward what they desired. This is not stubbornness. This is the most sophisticated mental strategy available to any human being on this earth. So let me bring all of this together for you now. The mindset that makes money chase you is not built on luck. It is not reserved for the privileged. It is not a secret held in the boardrooms of the elite. It is a set of mental habits practiced daily with discipline and emotion and clarity by any person who genuinely decides they are done settling for less than their mind is capable of creating. It begins with a burning desire, specific, measured, deadline attached, emotionally charged. It is powered by faith, applied daily through visualization and auto-suggestion until the wealthy reality feels more real than the current physical circumstances. It is focused through specialized knowledge, the relentless pursuit of what you need to know to deliver extraordinary value. It is multiplied by aligned minds, relationships with people who expand your thinking rather than confine it. And it is protected by persistence, the unbreakable decision that you will move toward your desire regardless of what the world places in your path. This is the mindset. This is the magnetic force. This is the switch that once flipped begins to change everything, not immediately, not without effort, not without challenge, but inevitably, powerfully, and completely. The only remaining question is whether you will choose to flip it. The mindset is yours. The wealth is yours. The only question left is whether you believe it. And now you have every reason to. The mindset that makes money chase you is not built on luck. It is not reserved for the privileged. It is not a secret held in the boardrooms of the elite. It is a set of mental habits practiced daily with discipline and emotion and clarity by any person who genuinely decides they are done settling for less than their mind is capable of creating. It begins with a burning desire, specific, measured, deadline attached, emotionally charged. It is powered by faith, applied daily through visualization and auto-suggestion until the wealthy reality feels more real than the current physical circumstances. It is focused through specialized knowledge, the relentless pursuit of what you need to know to deliver extraordinary value. It is multiplied by aligned minds, relationships with people who expand your thinking rather than confine it. And it is protected by persistence, the unbreakable decision that you will move toward your desire regardless of what the world places in your path. This is the mindset. This is the magnetic force. This is the switch that once flipped begins to change everything, not immediately, not without effort, not without challenge, but inevitably, powerfully, and completely. The only remaining question is whether you will choose to flip it. The mindset is yours. The wealth is yours. The only question left is whether you believe it. And now you have every reason to. The mindset that makes money chase you is not built on luck. It is not reserved for the privileged. It is not a secret held in the boardrooms of the elite. It is a set of mental habits practiced daily with discipline and emotion and clarity by any person who genuinely decides they are done settling for less than their mind is capable of creating. It begins with a burning desire, specific, measured, deadline attached, emotionally charged. It is powered by faith, applied daily through visualization and auto-suggestion until the wealthy reality feels more real than the current physical circumstances. It is focused through specialized knowledge, the relentless pursuit of what you need to know to deliver extraordinary value. It is multiplied by aligned minds, relationships with people who expand your thinking rather than confine it. The mindset that makes money chase you is not built on luck. It is not reserved for the privileged. It is not a secret held in the boardrooms of the elite. It is a set of mental habits practiced daily with discipline and emotion and clarity by any person who genuinely decides they are done settling for less than their mind is capable of creating. It begins with a burning desire, specific, measured, deadline attached, emotionally charged. It is powered by faith, applied daily through visualization and auto-suggestion until the wealthy reality feels more real than the current physical circumstances. It is focused through specialized knowledge, the relentless pursuit of what you need to know to deliver extraordinary value. It is multiplied by aligned minds, relationships with people who expand your thinking rather than confine it.